She arrived in jeans and a confirmed reservation, only to be turned away without a second glance. Less than 24 hours later, she walked back in as the new owner of the entire hotel. Marla Thompson stood outside the Grandview Pinnacle Hotel in downtown Nashville, Tennessee, checking her phone one last time. The booking was solidly made under her assistant's name, as always. It wasn't about hiding, it was about avoiding the usual scrutiny. Her driver pulled away, and she paused, taking in the hotel's facade. It wasn't the flashiest building on the Strip, but it screamed ambition: sleek granite walls, a glitzy awning with brass trim, and double doors flanked by staff in crisp black blazers. It felt like a place more concerned with appearances than hospitality. Marla adjusted her tote bag, gave a curt nod to the doorman, and stepped inside. The lobby was a performance-polished hardwood floors, a towering chandelier, and the faint scent of lavender pumped through the air. A young couple lounged by a stone fireplace, sipping martinis. A woman in stilettos clicked past, her perfume trailing like a statement. Marla had seen worse, but this place felt rehearsed. She approached the front desk with a polite smile. "Reservation under Sarah Jennings," she said. The receptionist, a young woman named Tara Blonde, with a tight ponytail and a burgundy scarf, barely looked up. She tapped at her keyboard, her nails clicking with deliberate slowness. Marla waited. She'd learned long ago that patience was her armor in rooms like this. Tara squinted at the screen, then tilted her head. "I'm sorry, I don't see a reservation under that name." "Are you sure it's for tonight?" Marla showed her the confirmation email. Tara glanced at it, then shrugged. "We're fully booked. There's a motel about 20 minutes out, though." Marla studied her, not angry, just assessing. "Could you check again?" Tara's smile was thin. "I've checked. Sorry." Behind her, a bellhop pushed a luggage cart across the floor. A couple approached the desk, and Tara's demeanor shifted instantly. "Welcome to the Grandview Pinnacle," she chirped, handing them keys with a warm grin. Marla stepped back, letting another guest cut in. The desk sign gleamed. 5-star service with Southern grace. She turned and walked out, no scene, no protest. She wasn't here to beg for respect. She learned that lesson years ago. But this moment lit a fire she'd long kept banked. Outside, the Nashville evening hummed with neon lights and distant guitar strums. Marla called her assistant, Sarah. "They turned me away," she said flatly. A pause. "Want me to move the meeting?" Sarah asked. Marla glanced back at the hotel's glowing sign. "No, I'll be back tomorrow." That night wasn't over, and what happened next would turn more than just keys. Marla walked down Broadway, her tote bag bumping against her hip. The city pulsed with live tourists, street musicians, the clink of glasses from honky-tonks. She wasn't angry, just focused. She'd learned to box up moments like these decades ago. If she let every slight cut her, she'd never have built her empire. She stopped at the Clover Inn, a modest 3-story hotel she remembered from her early days in Nashville. It wasn't fancy, but it was honest. She rang the bell, and an older man, George, with wire-rimmed glasses and a cardigan, opened the door. "Evening, ma'am," he said warmly. "Room for one?" "You're in luck." Marla exhaled, feeling the weight of the day lift. The Clover's lobby smelled of cedar and old books, walls lined with photos of local history, blues legends, community fairs, a faded picture of George's father opening the place in 1958. No pretense, just roots. As she signed in, her phone buzzed. Sarah had texted, "Grandview sale clears at 9 a.m. Car ready?" Marla typed back, "Yes. Get Tom on the line. I want the transition files." She headed to her room, a small space with a creaky desk and a quilted bedspread. She kicked off her shoes, opened her laptop, and pulled up the Grandview's dossier. The Grandview Pinnacle had been a jewel once, a decade ago, the pride of Nashville's business district. But mismanagement, overpriced packages, and a scandal involving a politician and a flooded penthouse had left it limping. That's where Marla's firm, Sterling Oak Partners, came in. She specialized in distressed properties, hotels with cracked foundations and broken trust. She didn't sell dreams, she built systems. The staff list caught her eye. General Manager Carl Whitaker, 6 years in, outdated practices, mediocre guest reviews, 2 unresolved HR complaints. Then Tara Hayes, receptionist, promoted internally, no formal issues but a pattern of selective service. Marla flagged it. These weren't just names, they were symptoms. She leaned back, the room's hum of an old radiator grounding her. At 52, Marla had seen enough boardrooms to know how power worked. She remembered her first deal, a crumbling motel in Memphis. The owner laughed her off, said she was too green. 2 years later, you begged to partner. She said no. Respect earned through results meant more than forced handshakes. Her phone buzzed again. Sarah, Whitaker wants to meet you directly. Marla replied, 10 a.m., Executive Lounge. No earlier. She closed her laptop, sipped chamomile tea George had brought her, and let the night settle. Tomorrow, she'd hold the keys. Morning light filtered through the clover's faded curtains. Marla woke early, as always, the habit of a kid who'd watched her parent, her mother a seamstress, her father a mechanic, rise before dawn. Routine was her anchor. She dressed simply, navy blazer, white blouse, flats. No flash, just presence. At 9 a.m., her car pulled up to the Grandview. She stepped out with a slim folder, no luggage. She wasn't a guest anymore. Inside, a lawyer named Ethan greeted her. Miss Thompson, your team's in the lounge. The same doorman from last night held the door, his eyes lingering with a flicker of recognition. Tara was at the desk, distracted, then froze when she saw Marla. Confusion, not guilt, crossed her face. Marla didn't pause. In the executive lounge, her team waited. Sarah, Ethan, 2 operations associates, and a bank officer. She signed the papers with steady precision, each stroke sealing the Grandview's new chapter. Bring Whitaker in at 10, she said. Carl Whitaker entered, mid-50s, ruddy-faced, cufflinks too shiny. Miss Thompson, he said, his handshake stiff. Congratulations. She met his eyes. That depends on the next 2 weeks. They sat, and she outlined changes, audits, HR reviews, new shift protocols. Whitaker pushed back once on the complaint reviews. It'll stir up trouble, he said. Marla didn't blink. Trouble's already here. Fixing it stays. He didn't argue again. By noon, Marla walked the halls, not as a guest, but as the one reshaping the place. She noted scuffed walls, outdated systems, a staff lounge smelling of stale coffee. She spoke to a porter, Jamal, who'd been there 6 years. You like it here? She asked. He shrugged. It pays. She nodded. Write down what's broken. I'll read it Monday. In the kitchen, she met head chef Rosa, late 50s, arms crossed. You here to cut costs? Rosa asked. Marla replied, I'm here to fix what's ignored. Rosa's scowl softened, just a fraction. In the laundry room, she met Clara, a 20-year veteran with a proud smile. New schedules and equipment next week, Marla said, shaking her hand. And a raise, if I have my way. Clara blinked, stunned. You really own this place? Marla smiled. I do. At 1 p.m., she called a meeting with Whitaker and HR head Neil. We're reviewing culture today, she said. Tara's the face of this hotel, and right now, that face says exclusion. She slid a folder of complaint logs across the table, ignored requests, dismissive tones, all tied to Tara. Bring her in, Marla said. Tara entered, nervous, her jaw tight. You remember me? Marla asked. Tara nodded. From last night. Marla's voice was calm but sharp. You made a choice in 30 seconds. No protocol, just bias. Tara stammered. I didn't mean. Marla cut her off. This isn't about firing you. It's about training. You'll have evaluations, shadow a senior concierge, and be accountable for how people feel. Rise or step aside. Tara left, shaken but intact. Marla turned to Whitaker and Neil. Every front-facing staff member goes through respect first. 2 or more complaints, they're reevaluated. Clear. They nodded. The work wasn't done, but the tone was set. Within a week, the Grandview shifted. The old training manual was scrapped, replaced with respect first, each copy stamped with an employee's name. Marla didn't hover, she gave orders and trusted they'd be followed. She left her door open daily at 3 p.m. Jamal came first, saying, people aren't scared anymore. Clara stopped by, grinning about new equipment. Even Rosa nodded once, muttering, supplies came on time. First in years. The front desk changed too. Tara worked under Lena, a seasoned concierge with zero patience for arrogance. Lena coached her firmly, and Tara began to shift. Her tone warmed. Her smiles grew real. One day, Marla watched from afar as Tara welcomed a man in work boots with genuine care. She didn't linger to gloat. She moved on. The hotel drew new attention. A local nonprofit booked the ballroom for a job fair. A veterans group hosted a poetry night on the rooftop. The break room got a fresh coat of paint, and a staff board went up, Clara's photo front and center. Guests noticed too. This place feels fairer, one said at checkout. Marla overheard, smiled, and kept working. 3 weeks later, the Grandview hosted a scholarship gala for local students in hospitality and business. Marla funded it quietly. No press, just handwritten invites to schools and small businesses. The ballroom glowed with string lights, staff wearing full-name tags. Clara greeted guests, her pride visible. Marla watched from the side, arms crossed, letting the night unfold. Near the end, someone handed her a mic. She hesitated, then spoke. "I didn't buy this hotel for its shine," she said. "I bought it because it forgot how to see people. I grew up in Knoxville, with parents who worked until they couldn't stand. Respect isn't earned through titles, it's owed the moment someone walks in." The applause was soft, then loud. She stepped down, no fanfare. A young woman, Tasha, approached afterward, a scholarship recipient. "I want to own, not just manage," she said shyly. Marla smiled. "I'll mentor you. Start with clarity and stay honest." They swapped numbers, a quiet promise. The next morning, the Grandview hummed with purpose. Marla posted a note on the staff board. "To the Grandview team, this place used to shine outside and rot inside. Now it breathes because of you. Keep making people belong." Clara read it aloud to a new hire, who grinned. Tara checked in a couple with worn bags, her "We're glad you're here" genuine. Marla caught her eye, gave a nod of approval, and walked away. In her office, Marla sat quietly, the city skyline beyond her window. The Grandview wasn't just hers, it was better. Not because she won, but because she led with intention. Respect wasn't a slogan, it was the air people breathed now. She built a place where no one had to earn their place at the door. What do you think about Marla's story? Have you faced moments of unfairness or seen systems change for the better? Share your thoughts in the comments, especially on how we confront bias and build spaces where everyone belongs. Your voice matters.